I got sick last year in January, February in hospital again, March in hospital, April in hospital, June, slight stroke, July in hospital, eventually August. It was like a shocking thing that went through my right side on my vein, on my neck actually. They couldn't determine what was really wrong with me. I had a neurologist. The neurologist said it was all in my head. They've done test, MRI, lumbar punch. They had a machine on my brain, everything, but I couldn't determine what was really happening. He actually said to me, Dr. Khan is a vascular surgeon at Lenmed. I'm going to refer you to Dr. Khan. And I literally thought it was going to be now weeks again for me getting sick once again, laying in hospital for 3-4 days and that. But that next day, I ended up in Lenmed. Walk in, from reception, doctors, everybody. It was a huge, I could feel the difference. I could feel the embracement. I could feel, okay, now I'm in the right hands. Dr. Khan took me through the whole procedure. He spoke to me and my husband and he said to me, okay, what will happen? He normally operates on certain days. They will make a plan to get me in as soon as possible. They were having that patient with me. They were talking me through the whole thing. And I was like, wow, really God, did you send all these angels? Is this all my angels today? They, even my family, when they came to visit me, it was just something else that I never ever experienced before.
This patient represents a common problem that happens in our country where a patient has an underlying vascular problem but has not had exposure to the appropriate expertise to diagnose that problem. And after arriving to me and having undergone an assessment and appropriate tests, we realized that she had a blockage in the blood vessel in her neck, which was actually the underlying reason for why she had had a stroke, which had been missed. And we fortunately managed to perform a complex procedure where that blockage was opened in her neck vessel. And after several days of care in the ICU, with the guidance of our ICU team, she did really well and she went home. And she's subsequently done really, really well.
You know, it makes us as medics feel so comfortable and so happy and so joyous that when we put so much of effort into the patient, the same amount of effort is followed through by the rest of the team.
Last year, being diagnosed with a heart condition, unfortunately I had a heart attack. I started feeling sick at work in the afternoon, and I still remember calling my wife and saying, you know, I don't feel well, but something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like usual sick. Just when you go lay down, because I started feeling a little bit weird and sick again. And as I laid down, I started feeling like unusual sick. And at that point, I thought I was having a panic attack. And I sat up and I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Started sweating profusely, and the pain in my chest just went across. And went to my wife. She was sitting in the lounge, and I said, look, I don't feel good. And when she looked at me, she says, you're sweating like crazy. And but okay, let's go outside for some air. And as I stood there at the door while she was opening the door to go outside, I told her, you know what, I'm not going to manage. I can't manage. This is something not right. And she said, nope, let's go hospital. And that's how we ended up at Lenmed. My kids took it a little bit hard because obviously they didn't know what to expect. And they didn't know they're going to see their father after that night. And when I was here, I had awesome treatment from the time I got here, from the nurses to the doctors to the treatment that I got. They were clear, they were friendly, they were, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better team at that point in time. And I met Dr. Busi when I was in ICU. And I think when I met him for the first time, I was still a little bit dazed because of the medication. But when I met him, it was like a sense of relief. Before I even did anything, he just came to introduce himself, and I felt a sense of relief that, you know what, there's someone here. And he made it so easy for me to go through that process of knowing that, you know, in the next half an hour or an hour I'll be in surgery, and knowing that I was in his hands. He just gave me that sense of comfort.
From the time you come in, I think it's very clear that you're made a priority, that you are not treated so much as a number or a disease, but rather as a patient. Especially when it comes to your heart, I think people get very anxious. Nobody's super excited to come see their cardiologist. Like, no one's like, yeah, it's time for me to see my cardiologist. People are quite nervous. And I think my role is try to make you feel as comfortable as possible.
After that scare, you kind of realize that life is short and we need to give our family our time.
God gave you one heart, you need to look after your heart. One body, you need to look after your body. Because sometimes we think life is a joke, we can just take things for granted.
And I just want to say, you know what, they should keep up the good work. They are awesome. There's no other way to put it. I mean, there's no way to say thank you. How do you thank someone for saving your life? What do you do for them? And I'm thankful.
May the Lord just lift up all the continents and give them all the love and peace and happiness that they are giving and putting into this hospital.